The air crackled with tension. The wood-paneled courtroom, steeped in centuries of legal tradition, had never witnessed such drama. All eyes were fixed on the imposing figure of Baroness Brenda Hale, the most powerful judge in the land. She sat motionless, her gaze unwavering as she prepared to deliver a verdict that would send shockwaves through the nation and beyond. Sir Keir Starmer, former Director of Public Prosecutions and current leader of His Majesty's loyal opposition, stood ramrod straight in the dock. His face, normally a mask of composure, betrayed a flicker of apprehension. He had risen to the pinnacle of both law and politics, a champion of justice, a man accustomed to wielding the law, not being subject to its full force. Today, however, he stood accused of a grave offense, contempt of court. A hush fell over the courtroom as Baroness Hale began to speak, her voice carrying the weight of her position. She recounted Starmer's words, uttered in the heat of a political debate, words that had cut to the heart of the British legal system, words that had challenged the very foundation of judicial independence, words that would ultimately prove to be his undoing. Sir Keir Starmer, Baroness Hale intoned, her voice resonating through the silent courtroom. This court finds you guilty of contempt. A collective gasp arose from the assembled journalists and legal observers. The verdict was in. Starmer had been found guilty, but the sentence was yet to come, and the sentence, as Baroness Hale would soon announce, would be nothing short of staggering. The controversy had its roots in a seemingly innocuous immigration case. A Gazan family, displaced by years of conflict and hardship, had sought refuge on British shores. Their application, however, had been denied by the Home Office, citing stringent immigration rules. The family, represented by a tenacious legal team, had appealed the decision, their case eventually reaching the High Court. It was during a particularly heated Prime Minister's questions, with the eyes of the nation upon him, that Starmer had made his fateful error. The Prime Minister, pressed on the government's handling of the case, had defended the Home Office's decision, citing the need to maintain firm border control. Starmer, in a moment of uncharacteristic impulsivity, had erupted, accusing the government of heartlessness and, crucially, labeling the High Court's judgment as fundamentally flawed. His words, broadcast live on national television, sent shockwaves through the legal establishment. Judges, barristers, and legal scholars alike were aghast. Starmer, a seasoned lawyer himself, knew full well the gravity of his words. To accuse a court of bias, to publicly undermine its authority, was to strike at the very heart of the British legal system. It was an act of contempt, pure and simple, and it was an act that would have severe consequences. Baroness Hale, with the full weight of the judiciary behind her, had convened a special hearing to address Starmer's transgression. The charge was clear, contempt of court. The evidence was irrefutable. Starmer's words, broadcast to millions, spoke for themselves. The hearing was, in essence, a formality, a necessary procedure to uphold the dignity of the law. Starmer, to his credit, had expressed remorse for his outburst. He had not, however, retracted his criticism of the court's judgment. He maintained that the Gazan family, victims of circumstance, deserved compassion and refuge. His defense, while heartfelt, fell on deaf ears. Baroness Hale, her voice steely, delivered the sentence. Sir Keir Starmer, for your egregious and inexcusable contempt of this court, I sentence you to a term of 6 months' imprisonment. A collective gasp filled the courtroom. No one, not even the most seasoned legal observers, had anticipated such a harsh penalty. Starmer, stunned, stood motionless as if struck by a physical blow. His legal team, equally shocked, scrambled to their feet, lodging an immediate appeal. Their pleas, however, were in vain. The sentence stood. Starmer, once the champion of justice, was now a convicted criminal destined for a spell behind bars. Section 4. Uproar and disbelief. The nation reacts. The news of Starmer's sentencing spread like wildfire across the nation. Newspapers rushed to publish special editions, their headlines screaming the unbelievable, Starmer jailed. Television screens were dominated by images of a somber Baroness Hale delivering her verdict and a stunned Starmer being led away by court officers. Across the political spectrum, reactions were swift and divided. Labour Party members were apoplectic, accusing the judiciary of overreach and demanding Starmer's immediate release. Conservatives, while expressing surprise at the severity of the sentence, largely welcomed the verdict, viewing it as a victory for the rule of law. The public, meanwhile, was deeply divided. Some applauded the court's decision, viewing it as a necessary defense of judicial independence. Others expressed outrage, arguing that Starmer's words, while ill-advised, did not warrant such a draconian punishment. Legal experts were similarly split. Some argued that Baroness Hale had acted appropriately, sending a clear message that no one, not even a prominent politician, was above the law. Others, however, expressed concern that the sentence, while technically justified, set a dangerous precedent, potentially chilling free speech and political discourse. The debate, it seemed, was far from over. Section 5. The Gazan family at the heart of the storm. Lost in the maelstrom of legal and political drama was the Gazan family at the heart of the controversy. Their plight, the catalyst for Starmer's downfall, was all but forgotten. They remained in legal limbo, their fate hanging in the balance. The Home Office, emboldened by the court's initial ruling, seemed determined to deport them. Their lawyers, however, vowed to continue fighting, appealing to the European Court of Human Rights. The family, meanwhile, remained silent, their voices drowned out by the cacophony of outrage and debate surrounding their case. They had become pawns in a high-stakes political game, their lives and futures held hostage to the vagaries of the British legal system. Their story, a stark reminder of the human cost of political maneuvering, served as a tragic footnote in a saga that had captivated and divided a nation.